to Tesla's superior alternating current.
The Nikola Tesla Electric Light Company.
Nikola Tesla was one of history's greatest inventors, a modern-day Leonardo da Vinci who, while lacking the range of interests of his Renaissance predecessor, was noted for the sheer genius and inventiveness that unfolded within the disciplines he explored. In addition to his impressive professional career, which has been well chronicled, one of the most significant aspects about Tesla was the everyday life he led. This was riddled with idiosyncrasies that, up until this point, haven't led exactly to an explanation of his unique genius, but which at the very least explain some of the forms in which his genius was expressed. Join us in today's video as we delve into the specifics of his previously unknown rituals, which were just made public. A few people in science history have the aura of a legend surrounding them like Nikola. Those familiar with Nikola Tesla's story will recognize that any term used to characterize his profession may appear reductive. Scientist, physicist, engineer, inventor, none of these terms adequately characterize Nikola Tesla's life. Perhaps genius is an adequate description of this man's existence. Tesla, a key figure in the electricity revolution, was the prototypical mad genius. He invented the Tesla coil, whose stunning electrical discharges became the laboratory's symbol. He possessed extraordinary mental talents that enabled him to create intricate electrical machines in his thoughts and build them without taking any notes. Nikola Tesla was a visionary whose innovations altered the course of human history. No wonder then if there is a large community that consider the brilliant scientist a kind of divinity. According to them, Tesla is the true father of an astounding number of essential inventions, including the transistor, radio, radar, X-ray, and alternating current. Tesla's vision was always ahead of his contemporaries. He foresaw a world where people could communicate via radio waves and light cities without the use of wires more than 2 centuries ago. He was unafraid of the innovation, and for this reason, Nikola Tesla will always be an example that cannot be disputed. During his 86-year life, Tesla filed over 300 patents, and his inventions helped pave the way for alternating current, electric motors, radios, fluorescent lights, lasers, and remote controls, among many other things. Some of his later ideas, on the other hand, seem weird even now. For example, he once outlined ideas for a death ray and alluded to another concept for an unbreakable wall of force to stop and annihilate foreign invasions. The electronics pioneers Marconi and Tesla made the first claims of extraterrestrial communication. Both were laughed at, and they eventually stopped talking about the matter altogether. Tesla is a very interesting case. Many people, including his major biographer, consider Tesla to be nearly superhuman, yet he was so naive in practical concerns that he was repeatedly duped by the businessmen to whom he sold his inventions. Tesla's lifelong ambition was to provide abundant energy so cheap that everyone on the planet could live comfortably. He came so near in his later efforts that the businesses that had supported him withdrew their backing, afraid he would destroy the monopolies that had made them wealthy. He is also one of just 2 men who have turned down the Nobel Prize. Tesla's greatest invention was the method for electrically generating and using alternating current. Far more than Edison's direct current machines, Tesla's AC generators ushered in the modern technological revolution. This insight came to Tesla during his adolescence in the form of a series of quasi-mystical visions. The following were the key events. 1. The vision themselves, in which Tesla really slipped into a trance and conversed with entities that no one else could see. 2. A series of mysterious illnesses between the visions. Tesla grew very sensitive in some of these and perceived all perceptions as unpleasant. Colors were too bright, noises too loud, etc. Tesla nearly died several times due to an apparent draining of life force that his doctors could not explain. 3. Tesla was transformed into a kind of secular seer after his final vision, in which he saw that everything in the universe obeys the law of octaves. He had a strange inner vision. He could practically see in perfect detail any machine he imagined, even down to the tiniest measurements and proportions, as if he were measuring an actual machine with actual instruments. He patented several of these devices and made $1 million before the age of 30. Tesla, by the way, was a staunch materialist throughout his life. When his biographer pointed out that Tesla's own ESP had been demonstrated on numerous occasions, Tesla replied that ESP also had a material medium. However, his innate abilities and perseverance in increasing humanity's access to technology resulted in one of his most significant inventions: wireless communications and infinite free energy. He made statements about the feasibility of wireless communication using his gadgets as early as 1893, developing a radio-controlled boat and a wireless telephone 70 years before wireless telephones became common. Nonetheless, he abandoned those plans for the ill-fated Wardenclyffe Tower project on Long Island, a station intended at enabling intercontinental wireless transmission. Despite the fact that the project was principally financed by financier J.P. Morgan, who realized the potential profit from wireless power, when Tesla sought for further money, Morgan refused. The primary challenge that Tesla faced was that Morgan was unable to conceive of a way to make money from something that was invisible like radio. In 1904, Tesla, who was adamant about seeing his concept come to fruition, wrote with complete conviction that when wireless is fully adapted, the Earth will be converted into a huge brain capable of response in every one of its parts. But the shortage of funds ultimately proved to be the project's undoing, which led to the eventual demise of one of the most brilliant minds of our time, a megalomaniac who believed in all or nothing. That was one of his character flaws. His illusions got ahead of the practical engineering, says W. Bernard Carlson, author of Tesla, Inventor of the Electrical Age. Tesla also rarely slept, claiming that he only needed 2 hours of sleep every night, but he did admit to nodding off now and then to recharge. If you're anything like most, you regard sleep as a sacred, vital, much anticipated, and sacred nightly routine. If you're like Leonardo da Vinci or Nikola Tesla, it's a waste of time. The two allegedly followed an intense sleep regimen that will leave you fatigued just thinking about it. It is not contentious to say that sleep is essential. Sleep deprivation causes you to consume more than you need, drives you like a drunken fool, destroys your ability to learn, and literally eats your brain. While napping stations are popular in contemporary millennial workplaces, midday naps are not a new concept. In reality, before the Industrial Revolution, it was typical for people to divide their night's sleep into 2 parts: first sleep and second sleep. Nikola Tesla allegedly followed an extremely impossible sleep schedule. While pre-industrial segmented sleepers followed a biphasic schedule, hitting the pillow twice a day, Tesla was the most extreme example of polyphasic sleeping, bedtime more than 3 times a day. This cycle entails taking 6 20-minute naps spread out throughout the day. The Polyphasic Society claims that you can change the system in a non-equidistant manner to suit your demands. If you can believe it, Tesla never slept for more than 2 hours in a 24-hour period. This could have been the ticket that led to his mental breakdown at the age of 25. Professors at the university warned Tesla's father that the young scholar's working and sleeping habits were killing him, Smithsonian Magazine claims. The obvious reason why people might adhere to irregular sleeping hours and shorten napping shifts is more time implies more productivity ideally. Polyphasic sleep techniques promote longer sustained performance, according to a 1989 study published in Work and Stress. As a result, not only will you have more time to complete your tasks, but you may also achieve greater results. Tesla was also eccentric, recognized for his showmanship, charm, and ability to talk in public. Throughout his life, however, he struggled with mental health issues, most notably a crippling form of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Tesla, like many individuals with OCD, was obsessed with germs, hygiene, and disease prevention. According to Smithsonian Magazine, he washed his hands obsessively and later in life made sure that all of his food was boiled before he touched it. He attributed this to his observation of bacteria in his drinking water under a microscope at his lab, adding, "If you would only watch for a few minutes the horrible creatures, you would never again drink a drop of unboiled or unsterilized water." Tesla, a night owl, would work in his lab all night, much to the chagrin of his neighbors, who were frequently kept awake by weird noises emanating from his house and frequently phoned the police out of concern for the famed scientist. Another of Tesla's peculiarities was an odd fascination with the number 3. He had a penchant for rituals involving the number 3, such as going 3 times around a building before entering it. He would fold 18 napkins before beginning to eat because 18 was divisible by 3. When he arrived at a hotel, he always requested that his room number be divisible by 3 and that 18 fresh towels be supplied every morning. He would not only boil all his food, but he would also carefully determine the cubic mass of the food on his plate and then calculate the exact number of jaw motions required to digest it. He was terrified of round objects and couldn't stand being in the presence of a woman wearing earrings. While these odd habits may appear humorous, they reveal a man suffering from significant mental illness who was born in a period when no one understood his struggles. Let us know what you think of Tesla in the comments section below.